Hello, welcome back to IM Movies. Today we're covering the 2022 thrilling horror movie, Carter, which revolves around a deadly virus outbreak in North and South Korea and a mix of political conspiracies. Before we get started, be sure to give us a thumbs up, drop a comment, and hit the subscribe button to stay updated. With that said, let's get started. Following the outbreak of a deadly virus known as DMZ in South and North Korea, a medical doctor named Jung becomes a person of interest after he cures his daughter of the DMZ virus. After the news of his success broke out, Dr. Jung and his daughter Hanah were reported missing on their way to North Korea. During this time, a man wakes from his sleep and soon hears gunshots from CIA agents who have come to look for Dr. Jung. The CIA agents question this man about the whereabouts of Dr. Jung, but this man clearly does not know what is going on due to memory loss. The lead CIA agent shows the man a video of himself holding Dr. Jung hostage in the same hotel room. The man becomes more confused as the CIA agents keep asking him questions about Dr. Jung. At this point, he discovers that he has been surgically operated on, and soon sees his own blood on the bed, floor, and closet alongside surgical equipment. As the CIA agents continued to press him for more information, a phone rang from inside the closet, and he was asked to answer it. He picks up the call, and a lady tells him that his name is Carter. After this, she instructs him to give the phone to the person standing behind him, and as soon as he does, the phone explodes and kills the lady. Soon, a voice in Carter's head hints to him about another explosion that was set to happen in 20 seconds. She instructs him to jump from the window to escape the building. Carter quickly jumps and lands in the pool of a bathhouse. In the bathhouse, Carter sees gangsters torturing a man. The man begs Carter to save him, but Carter is not concerned. Curious, Carter asks the voice in his head, "Who are you?" At this point, the leader of the gang thinks Carter is challenging him. But just as Carter is about to clear the misunderstanding, a lady walks out of a pool and points her gun at Carter, while everyone in the bathhouse watches with a suspenseful look. Soon, one of the gangsters breaks the silence and launches an attack on Carter. The rest of the gang follow suit, and Carter finds himself fighting against several gang members. More and more gang members keep pouring in to join the fight, but Carter happens to be a well-trained fighter. However, at a point, Carter just knew there was no way he was going to keep up and decided to escape the building. The voice soon begins to instruct him on where to go and what to do as he tries to get away. However, Carter's trouble was far from over, as he soon realized that the CIA was still after him. After fighting some of them, Carter decides to get himself some clothes and shoes. The voice continues to instruct him on what to do and what route to take. After a while, the voice informs Carter about a CIA agent approaching his location and instructs him to eliminate the agent and secure his device. After securing the device, Carter asks why the CIA has been after him, but the voice insists that Carter should only follow instructions and ask questions later. She threatens to detonate a bomb implanted in Carter's teeth if he stops following her instructions. Now, Carter has to deliver the device he just secured to a vehicle that she describes to him. Carter spots the vehicle and a lady quickly pulls him in as CIA agents go after him. In the vehicle, Carter meets a lady who introduces herself as Choi Yoo-jin and also gets introduced to Han Jung-hee, the person speaking into his ears. They begin to give Carter a breakdown of what is going on with the DMZ virus and how they are working to get Dr. Jung to produce the vaccines on a large scale using his daughter's blood. Han Jung also reveals to Carter that all they are doing is his idea, stating that he was the one who suggested the mission as their commander. They also tell him about how the infected are violently strong and capable of using weapons. Finally, they tell him that his daughter's life is in danger if he doesn't complete the mission. The vehicle finally drops Carter off at a building opposite where Hanah is being held hostage, and Han Jung instructs him on how to go about it. Carter gets weapons from a bag and begins to get instructions to navigate his way to rescue Hanah. During the rescue attempt, Carter breaks into the CIA secret building using a zipline. He shoots his way to get to Hanah's location. On seeing Carter, Hanah begins to panic, but Carter assures her that he's there to save her, and even allows her to speak with her father, Dr. Jung, to gain her trust. Carter soon realizes that CIA agents are already outside the room. Carter escapes the room by detonating gas outside it. While navigating their way out, Carter comes to a dead end where he meets with a team of CIA agents led by Agent Smith. Agent Smith asks Carter who he works for, North Korea or South Korea. Carter explains to him that it doesn't matter who he works for and accuses the CIA of creating a rumor about the South Korean government to incite a riot. While they argue, another agent named Agnes cuts in and reveals that Carter's movement matches a former CIA agent named Michael Bain by 87%. Michael Bain is believed to be dead during a war in Syria. Agent Smith pulls a strand of hair from Carter's head and hands it over to Agnes for DNA testing. Just in, Agent Smith receives an intel about a signal coming from Carter's body. Han Jung quickly informs Carter of her plan to cut communication and use the bomb in his mouth as a decoy. One of the agents scans Carter's body and realizes the signal is coming from his mouth. As soon as they got the device out, Han told Carter that it would detonate in 5 seconds. Carter uses this as an opportunity to escape while carrying Hanah on his back. However, another CIA agent attacks him, but he soon escapes the area after stealing a van. Soon, Carter and Hanah join a group of people protesting against the US about the abduction of Dr. Jung, saying that the US is behind all of it. At this time, Hanah becomes confused after seeing her double talking to her father in the crowd. Seeing this, she asks Carter why the protesters are wearing a picture of herself and her father. Carter explains to her that it's because they want her to stay safe. Carter then suggests that they join the protesters to do the same as a disguise. At this time, a news report of Dr. Jung's arrival in Sinuiju, North Korea, is broadcast to everyone. A video sent by Dr. Jung debunking the news that the South Korean government is working against the North was also played for everyone. After that, Carter takes Hanah through a quiet street to meet with Choi Yoo-jin, but pauses briefly to read a message from Agnes, who promises to show him his true identity. Being curious, Carter decides to ditch Choi Yoo-jin to meet with Agnes on a bus. Han Jung warns Carter to get off the bus immediately, but he won't listen. Agnes blocks off Han Jung's communication signal and tries to convince Carter to trust her if he wants to survive, but Carter is still not sure who to trust. Agnes puts a listening device in his ears to prove she is not lying. Carter was able to hear everything that they were saying, but it wasn't enough. Soon after this, Agnes gets shot in the shoulder and Carter tries to help her, but she asks him to run instead, as CIA agents approach the bus. Immediately after escaping the bus, CIA agents on bikes kidnap Hanah. Carter goes after them, and Choi Yoo-jin and her team join in the fight. More CIA agents pour in as Carter fights and eliminates them to protect Hanah. At last, Carter finally eliminates them all and safely takes Hanah to meet with the head of NIS, a department Kim Dong-jae-young at an airport as they prepare to leave for North Korea. On the plane, doctors tend to their wounds, and Kim Dong-jae-young warns Carter about trusting anyone, not even himself. He believes the DMZ virus might have been spread by people who want the current North Korean regime to crumble, people he referred to as coup plotters. Just in, the plane experiences turbulence, and they soon realize that both pilots have collapsed after drinking a cup of coffee. Director Kim notices the pilot's bloodshot eyes and pulls out his gun to kill them. The leader of the North Korean soldiers, Comrade Sun Hwa, stops him, and 2 more soldiers barge in pointing their gun at Director Kim. Director Kim warns them that if it's a sign of a mutating virus, they'll all die. But the North Korean soldiers insist they confirm if they are truly infected. Doctors arrive to test the pilot's blood for infections. They soon suggest that the pilots might be infected, but they need more time to confirm it. Soon another turbulence happens, and Director Kim senses something going on. Han Jung informs Carter that someone has just taken Hanah to the cargo compartment. Carter goes there and finds Hanah tied and blindfolded. Soon Carter gets attacked by a North Korean spy doctor. Luckily, Director Kim saves Carter from the doctor. The doctor later kills Director Kim after they both get into a fight. During this time, Carter tells Hanah to find help. While outside the cargo compartment, Hanah sees Carter being blown off the plane. This makes Hanah go into a state of shock and confusion. She wouldn't even answer anyone when she'd been questioned about what had happened. Soon, the North Korean spy appears and lies about Director Kim being a CIA spy. This causes tension between the two sides, and they soon begin to push blame. Comrade Sun Hwa, who is now infected, walks out of the cockpit, and that's when the real problem begins. She begins to attack everyone, and more people become infected. The spy doctor cuts Hanah's hands open and uses her blood to cover himself to ward off the infected. In the cargo compartment, the infected are being sucked out of the plane, and it appears that Carter didn't die after all. The spy doctor ties Hanah to himself and jumps off with a parachute. Carter soon lets go of the plane and joins the spy doctor in the air. After fighting for a while, Carter was able to get rid of the spy doctor. Soon Carter landed on a truck carrying pigs, and more North Korean soldiers attacked them. The truck driver gets killed during this fight, and Carter instructs Hanah to take the steering wheel as he continues to fight off the soldiers. After finally getting rid of the soldiers, Carter stops in a forest area and follows instructions from Han Jung. Carter and Hanah both arrive at a waterfall and decide to wash themselves. That was when they noticed a body floating towards them. Carter observes the body and soon realizes it's infected. The infected jumps out of the water, but Carter kills it mid-air. More infected begin to float down as Carter begins to kill them. Soon, they arrive at a rope bridge. The rope bridge is weak, but the infected are getting closer to them on both sides. The bridge finally collapses, leaving Carter and Hanah struggling for their life. Finally, they get across safely, when Han Jung comes to their rescue. Han Jung congratulates them for making it so far, and tells Carter that they can now leave together. However, Carter does not understand what she means. Soon, a senior lieutenant arrives and congratulates Carter for a job well done. Soon, Han Jung tells Carter to sit for her to remove the device from his ears. She assures him that he'll get his memory back soon enough. As soon as the device is successfully removed, the lieutenant general kicks Carter off the chair. Jung confronts the lieutenant general about his actions, and he points his gun at her, threatening to shoot her. His soldiers take Carter and Hanah away. On their way, the lieutenant general reveals to Jung that he's the leader of the coup plotters in North Korea and knows about the spread of the DMZ virus. Meanwhile, Carter is taken to a pit where they dump infected bodies to be burned. As soon as they lit the bodies, the infected violently attacked the soldiers and killed them. Carter manages to fight them off and gets the location of the lieutenant general from one of the soldiers before killing him. Carter heads to the location and watches the lieutenant from afar using a sniper rifle. Carter shoots at the general, but he misses. Carter decides to drive into the building to save his wife, kid, and Hanah. After fighting off soldiers and infected, Carter and Jung finally find their daughter, Yoon-hee, locked in a room. Yoon-hee attacks Jung, and Carter pulls out his gun. Jung reminds him that she's their daughter. The soldiers and infections kept coming at them, but Jung was able to get a shot of the vaccine for her daughter and herself. Meanwhile, Carter saves Hanah from a locked chamber, and they all escape from the building. On their way, Jung tells them about a train carrying the infected to China. They need to get on the train. Jung asks Dr. Jung to help Carter regain his memory by replacing a device in his head. While doing this, Carter regains his memory and remembers how the lieutenant general and his men once stopped him and his family from leaving the country. It was at this point that Carter made a promise to get Hanah to North Korea safely if they promised to let his family go. But to ensure he keeps his promise, the lieutenant general injects Yoon-hee with the virus to make sure that Carter keeps his promise. After gaining his memory, Carter apologizes to his wife for abandoning them. Soon after, their car got stuck and the soldiers on bikes began to attack them. Carter manages to kill one of them and uses his bike to escape, taking Hanah and Yoon-hee with him. After a while, Carter was able to land his bike on the train. The soldiers kept coming after him with trucks and helicopters, but Carter was able to fight them off as they kept attempting to kidnap Hanah. Soon, Jung and Dr. Jung join the fight and manage to save Hanah, who is now hanging from the train. At the same time, Carter was able to destroy the soldiers while fighting from the top of the train, hanging from a rope, and even on the helicopter. In the end, Carter, his wife, and Dr. Jung survived the whole ordeal. Ultimately, Carter is a suspenseful and action-packed thriller that explores themes of sacrifice, redemption, and the lengths a father is willing to go to protect his family in the face of a deadly viral outbreak and a web of government conspiracies. And the movie ends here. Thank you for supporting my small channel. If you like this video, share and like to help this channel out. Thanks for watching and see you at the next one.